Okay, so here we are in Japan at Nissan's R&D center, where we're going to have the first ever drive of the Nissan Leaf. So let's set off now and see how we get on with it. So we're not going to find out much about the ride or the handling of the car, that's for certain. But what we will discover is exactly how quiet the car is. And if I just go quiet now, you'll hear for yourself. There's a slight murmur from the electric motor as we accelerate away. But from my point of view, the first thing that strikes you is how strong the car is under acceleration. It really rockets off with absolutely. There's no gear changes, just one smooth, linear power uptake. Okay. Now, obviously, the torque is delivered immediately, instantaneously from takeoff, and it's unlike a hybrid, for instance, where you'd hear the sound of the CVT transmission whining away as the petrol engine works up to its maximum power delivery. So we come to our first corner and we turn it in, and the car is pretty well balanced, if I'm honest. You know, the previous electric cars I've driven have been the Tesla, and you know, obviously that produces a lot more performance than this car, but it's quite crude by comparison. This take-up is very sudden. When you come off the accelerator, you get this massive braking effect from the motor. With this, there's none of that. You can actually select EV mode, which gives you even more braking effect, okay? And there's less of a throttle reaction when you put your foot down. But in the main, yeah, overall, a massively impressive vehicle. We'll just slow down a bit as we come into this corner, turn it in. This car is set up for a worldwide use, so the suspension settings and the steering settings are exactly what we will get in Europe when the car arrives. Yeah, something else that strikes you is there's no feeling like you're lumping around a great big battery in the car, because it's under the floor, sits kind of amidships. The car is quite well balanced. So we'll just open it up again. Once again, the only thing you hear is the wind noise coming across the windscreen. And apparently the engineer was telling me earlier that the worst noise he encountered when he was working on developing this car was the noise of the wipers. So that'll give you some idea of just how quiet the car is. Just heard a little bit of noise there as we went over that expansion joint, but overall there's very little road noise on the car as well. Surprisingly so, because there's none of the engine note drowning that out. So, you know, this is without shadow of doubt the best electric vehicle I've ever driven.